Today we're at the 54th Annual Council of Science Editors meeting in Baltimore, Maryland, and I have the great pleasure of being with Bruce Dancik, Editor-in-Chief of NRC Research Press in Canada, who I've known for a little while, and we just thought we'd sit down and have some discussions around choosing a journal, and other sessions will be about what editors expect of authors, what authors should look at when submitting papers to journals, what they should be thinking about. And so welcome, Bruce, and let's talk a little bit first about what you do and the journals that are in the umbrella of NRC Research Press, and some top view things.
Okay, thanks, Don. I'm pleased to be talking with you. As you said, I'm Editor-in-Chief of the NRC Research Press in Canada. We are the largest scientific publisher in Canada. We publish 15 journals, ranging from botany, Canadian Journal of Chemistry, Canadian Journal of Zoology, Environmental Reviews, Genome, Canadian Journal of Civil Engineering, quite a range of journals in the science and engineering areas.
So a little bit of background, and I understand that these were really initially part of the Canadian government as a publishing initiative, but then they have gone, there has been a transition recently. Maybe you can just give an indication of what the status of these journals are in the Canadian landscape.
Sure. The journals, as you said, were published by the federal government through NRC, the National Research Council. So the NRC Research Press doesn't really have any tie-in with them anymore. That's been privatized. Some of the journals were started by the council. Some of them were started by societies, or others and taken over by the NRC later on. For example, one of our top journals, Canadian Journal of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences, was published by a different government agency, first way back, the Fisheries Research Board of Canada, journal from the turn of the last century, and they asked us to take it over some years ago.
So it's a mix of society journals as well as journals without societies associated with them, or all the journals associated with some form of Canadian society?
They're all published by us. We have relationships with societies in most cases, not in all of them, but usually we have some relationships with them. So as editor-in-chief, I select the editors for those journals, and often I go to those societies for suggestions. If we have a tie-in with the society, it helps keep that relationship going with the society. Some have named us an official depository of material in their area, and they encourage their members to publish with us. Others just have a very informal relationship with us.
So as we're talking about your journal specifically, granted every author around the world and within Canada or the US or Asia or anywhere, South America, they clearly have a lot of selection of journals to potentially submit to. So why would what is the advantages, or what is the audience of the NRC Press journals?
Scientists around the world, and just maybe to pursue that a little further, why would one pick us or anybody else? I think an author should look around and find journals where their sorts of disciplines are well represented. What kinds of papers does a journal publish? I think one should really read papers in the journal and say, yes, this is similar to my kind of work, or it would be of interest. If readers are interested in this paper, they would be interested in my work, and start from there when they're submitting something, because I think it's a very important criterion for selecting a journal.
Okay. As we move on into other areas of discussion, is there something that you would like to say further about the journals that you represent, and the types of quality readership aspects of things, of why these journals have been so successful?
They're recognized around the world, particularly some of them, of course. Some are of more international repute than others, but some have been around for a long time and have always been in the top few journals that a person in those disciplines thinks about when they publish. For example, the Canadian Journal of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences, or the Canadian Journal of Forest Research, my old journal. These have traditionally been in the top 10%, 15% of their, by whatever measure one uses, and by reputation for those fields. Others are, most of our journals are fairly general journals, so they're not like journals like Cell or very specific subdiscipline journals. They tend to be broader, and therefore the readership tends to be broader.
So in closure to this section, what we'll be talking a little bit about today, given the wealth of background that you have in the publishing and journal and editorial and editing arena, is how authors should really choose a journal, what role impact factor has in that, among other types of metrics in the choice. We'll also be getting into how editors, journal editors, seek papers, what they look for in a submission, and then by deduction, what, quite honestly, authors should be doing to maximize their opportunity to be received by the journal and be queued into the peer review system and potentially, hopefully, have the success in publication in that journal.